Mackenzie Daphne to serve, and we're underway here in Bloomington. Hit over the top, stays with Indiana. Hayworth to set. Alonzo Corsellis hits it and gets the first point, and it goes the way of the home side.
There's your leader in kills for IU. She's going to be one of the keys to this IU offense. I think with IU, you can just go in so many different directions. That depth, that skill in every position. It's going to be scary here for Minnesota.
Several players can hurt you on the offensive side for Indiana. Fighting at the net for it, set up again. Alonzo Corsellis, not this time, and it will land on the Hoosiers side. Minnesota responds just like that.
Yeah, Schaffmaster with a great block there. I just mentioned 5 blocks against IU last year, already her first block. Going up against Alonzo Corsellis is not an easy thing to do, but she met up to the challenge.
You have to mention 2 players going up right at the net, able to hold strong Minnesota. Beyond serve here, hits it over. Once again, bounces back, Gary puts it up. Chance for Indiana, a little dink shot, but knocked back over, but it will go out of play. Attempt came from Palabiak, but too wide.
Great job there by IU. Back-to-back blocks at the net when they were trying to get the spike down. Good job trying to just poke it over, put it where they're not, and a 2-1 lead early here for IU.
The Colheed to serve. Senior blocker puts it into the net, and that'll even things up back again at 2. First service error we've seen today here in the first set. Schaffmaster now to take the serve. The setter you mentioned, key performer for Minnesota. Hayworth to put it up. Alonzo Corsellis, the little dink. Chance now for Minnesota. Blocked. Back and forth we go. Chance now hit high. Indiana will have to run for it. Hayworth keeps it up, and Corsellis puts it over.
Crowd loved that one.
Now Schaffmaster, the Big Ten Player of the Year, can't get that one to go on the other side. Takes a touch. Hoosiers get the point on that one. Looked like it might have been going high if it didn't take that touch, but it did.
Went off in a Minnesota blocker. Can't see, look at the replay here. Just an amazing play here by Hayworth to run back and just get a hand on it. Amazing job there for IU to get the point.
That's one of those, you're ranging back. More often than not, that ball's gonna land, and it's so hard to, in 2 touches, get it all the way from near that wall there by the stands, all the way across in just 2 hits.
So that's one of the things that made her a 2022 all Big Ten first teamer last year.
There's Landfair, and point will go to Minnesota, showing why she is reigning Player of the Year. It's not been the same season we've seen from her last year, but still dangerous.
Yeah, she's still the key to this offense. IU was a little bit out of position there. Landfair did a great job finding that position.
Preseason All Big Ten, as you'd expect, Landfair, who will put it over. And that's going to be a point for Indiana. That comes from Kaylee Ramelsberg, another blocker for Indiana. Colheed and Ramelsberg, both with kills.
Yeah, the high point transfer. She's actually 5th in the Big Ten in hitting percentage. Great blocker, but she's done great in spiking the ball down this year. She gets another kill.
Most experienced player on the team as a grad student. Alonzo Corsellis to put it over. Chance now for Minnesota, kept up by Corsellis. And she'll have the shot, and she'll have the point.
There she is again. Corsellis has been on fire to start this game. As you would expect, she's their lead attacker here. And now she'll get the serve.
A huge season for the sophomore. She'll be the one to serve. Landfair puts it wide. An uncharacteristic error for Landfair, in Indiana now, a 6-3 lead.
Great start here from IU, trying to get out ahead early.
First set always feels to be the most important one. Alonzo Corsellis puts it to Landfair, who keeps it in play this time round. Hit over by Wooker, and it's gonna land, and Minnesota able to get one back. I think that's huge, Lucas, being able to avoid those long runs of multi-points that you concede.
Yeah, it was a good big point there from Minnesota. They'd given up a couple points there. It's a great job to get back on the board. Now a chance to turn the tide a little bit.
Dug out by Indiana. Hayworth will set. Ramelsburg will hit. Set now by Landfair. Wooker finds the court. Inbounds, 6-5.
Great job by Kylie Murr there, just diving when the ball was way out. Another play we saw with Hayworth earlier, we saw with Murr there. Just an amazing way to put it back in.
Able just to find dead center, nobody home for Indiana. Alonzo Corsellis.
Put it just inside the court there from that back judge.
Just outside in the end. I think the initial call was in, changed rather quickly, and that'll mean that Minnesota evened it up. That's one of those calls that's as close as you can get, even a line judge that's 2 or 3 feet away. Not an enviable position to be in, that's for sure.
It was very close, too.
Put up on the other side, the little dink. Kept up in play by Minnesota. The set for Wooker. Corsellis keeps it up, and Hayworth spikes Minnesota up to the task. Wooker, long. Indiana get the point. Overcooked it ever so slightly.
Yeah, that's what you want to see here from IU, playing tall at the nets, making her try to put it too high, and she did, which ended up putting it too far out.
Back and forth we go in set number 1 between Indiana and Minnesota. Ramsey Gary, the freshman, to put it over. Spiked inbounds. Nice one there for Minnesota from Erica Davis, it looked like. Junior blocker. Spent her freshman year at OSU. Stays in the conference with another top program. Set again by Hayworth, looking for Morgan Geddes, but too far as well. They're going to say it was in, and that will be a point for Indiana. Geddes gets it.
Yeah, it looks like it made a touch off Minnesota there. Geddes, her career high in hitting percentage this year at .211. She has been the senior with a lot of experience, has been a key part to this IU offense as well. Been a great centerpiece for them.
Second on the team in kills last year for the Hoosiers, Geddes, and that one is too far. Just a little bit under it for Davis. Serve from Hayworth, always dangerous from there, but well kept up. Hit over by Wooker. Up by Gary and put home by Geddes, her second of the set.
Another kill there from Geddes. Said the veteran of this, one of the veterans of this squad, I should say.
And that's the thing for Indiana. For the most part, they're an experienced team. The libero freshman Ramsey Gary, really the exception to the rule as Hayward puts it over. Will it be kept in? Yes, it will. Well done so by Wooker. Chance for Indiana and Geddes, and she gets another. How about back-to-back kills for Morgan Geddes?
Some free hits here at the net, that one especially. We're going to get a timeout from Minnesota.
We'll take a quick break here. 11-7 the Hoosiers lead.
From last year against Minnesota, all 26 kills and 33 points from last year's loss to Minnesota actually returned. So growing as a squad, and we've seen it this year.
Huge experience for Indiana. That one goes out off of Wooker. Another point for Indiana. Extends the lead to 5 points.
Another great read there from Ramsey Gary, which is one of the things that makes her such a great libero. She's a key piece in the center of this IU defense. And as a freshman, it is very, very impressive.
Especially in a conference such as this, where you've got a lot of top teams in or around the rankings, as that one's put over by Indiana. A chance here at the net, blocked down. I believe that was Colheed with the block.
Yeah, the combination there of Colheed and Tatum. Great job at the net. The one thing you don't want to give Minnesota is free opportunities at the net. Great job there by IU to get that one. It looked like it was off Tatum in particular.
And that's another ace. And I think it's safe to say, who else would you expect?
Yeah, Cameron Hayworth, that's her 64th on the year. Next closest in the Big Ten only is 39. She's been clearly the best server in this conference. She continues to be elite.
If not when, or when not if, for Hayworth. Her serve was returned here. Alonzo Corsellis dug out by Minnesota. Back and forth the rally goes. Another chance for Geddes. That's blocked, kept up again. Dinked over, well knocked out by the Minnesota libero and hit over by Chefmaster. Breaks up the run from the Hoosiers.
Great job there to recognize IU had been very aggressive at the net. Like we saw a couple of times them just tip it over. And that one by Schaffmaster, when they're not ready, just a quick hit over gets her the point.
Back on serve for Minnesota. It's Hansen to put it over. And that one's gonna fall for Indiana off of Avery Tatum. Sophomore Cincinnati transfer.
Yeah, at Cincinnati, she had over 200 kills there in 18 games. She has been just as good, if not better, this year for IU. And a great job there not to let Minnesota go on a big run to try to bring this one back.
15-8 in the first set for Indiana. And another ace this time comes from Kenzie Daphne. 2-3 aces in the set for Indiana. And they've doubled up Minnesota early on.
A huge start. Remember, they have not taken a set since 2015. If they can take this first set, it's a huge step to trying to get that first win since 2014.
How about back-to-back aces for Daphne?
Daphne getting a lot more playing time in the last couple of games, and Minnesota needs yet another timeout.
And they've only gotten 1 point after the last timeout. We'll take
Kenzie Daphne and one from Hayworth. IU doing a great job on the good end of the run. Now you just want to make sure Minnesota doesn't get one going, trying to come back in the set.
Daphne into the net this time after back-to-back aces. And it feels like just a little bit of luck almost like that for Minnesota. That's what you need when you're down now by 8 points in a set. You just need something to go your way to try and build back.
Yeah, volleyball definitely a game of runs, and IU, as I mentioned, do not want to let Minnesota go on a big run here. They want to try to make sure they close out this first set with a win.
Blocked at the net by Minnesota. Hit back by Schaffmaster. Kept up by Hayworth. Put back over. Chance for Minnesota to reset. And out. Off Landfair. She gets the point.
Yeah, you can only get so many great plays on the defensive side. Minnesota back-to-back free shots. It's only a matter of when, not if you keep allowing that.
Several great blocks for Indiana, and eventually you're going to get worn down. A chance for them here. Alonzo Corsellis gets another kill. That's her fourth of the set. 18-10. And Indiana maintained that 8-point lead. They close in on their first set victory against Minnesota since 2015. Serve from Colheed. And knocked over well there by Schaffmaster. Just a little flick.
That's the second time we've seen her do something like that. She is being very creative there at the net, getting Minnesota a couple of big points that way. And now we'll see if Minnesota can try to get something going, as we've had a few back and forth points here.
Schaffmaster to serve. Dug out by Gosnell. Alonzo Corsellis again. And Indiana continue to control the first set.
They've been finding Corsellis so far in this first set. That's her 10th attack there. It'll be her 5th kill of the set. Been leading this offensive charge from IU.
Wilkinson Hall crowd loving what they're seeing. Minnesota trying to break it. Dug out by Gary. Alonzo Corsellis, and she does it again. The Hoosiers reach the 20 mark.
Now, one of the things I've seen from Minnesota this year is that they're second in opponent digs. So it's not that they haven't been getting these opportunities, just that the defense of the other team seems to be doing a great job at digging it out. And we've seen that from IU again. IU's been really good a lot this year, but we've seen a lot of great plays here.
Chance falls for Ramelsburg. 21 points for Indiana. Ramelsburg now getting in on the action.
Seems like Minnesota's just struggling to stop these runs at times. We've seen 3 big runs here from IU.
Tatum to serve. That will go too far. 21-12. But going back to Indiana, Ramelsburg got the last kill for them. She's up to 240. Indiana just can beat you with almost anybody, and that's quite impressive to have a team that deep.
And that's been one of their strong points this year for sure.
Alonzo Corsellis, she gets another. That's 7 in the set for Alonzo Corsellis. Nobody can stop her.
I mean, you have a lot of great talent here, but Alonzo Corsellis is by far one of the best players on this team.
Just the power she's able to generate on every single one of her spikes down, as she'll be the one to serve. And she gets her second ace again off of Landfair. Indiana can taste it here in Wilkinson.
Surprisingly dominating first set here from IU. Just feel like Minnesota coming out really slow here.
Alonzo Corsellis back on serve. That one kept up by Minnesota. The spike from Hansen, dug out by Geary. And now Geddes kept up well. Chance for Hansen again, blocked. And out of play, just a little bit past that white line. And there's the chance for respite for Minnesota. Serve from Murr. Bounces off the net. Dug out. Alonzo Corsellis bounces off a Gopher and out of play. Indiana are within one of a bit of history.
Yeah, and the crowd gets to their feet. IU really trying. They can, I mean, you mentioned it. They can taste it. They can feel it. But do not let Minnesota squeak back into it, though.
Crowd on their feet. Hoosiers a point away. Blocked and down, and the Hoosiers take the set.
From first-year head coach Keegan Cook for Minnesota, I should say.
Schaffmaster to serve to get the second set underway. There's Alonzo Corsellis. Kept up by Minnesota through Landfair. Hit across and down. Point for Minnesota started off by Lydia Groth, the Cal transfer.
Huge momentum shift here for Minnesota, potentially. Try to get on a run to start the second set and just put that first set out of your mind.
Whistle goes, and another point will go to Minnesota.
Defensive error there from IU. You don't see that too often, especially not from IU, but we'll give a point here from Minnesota.
Steve Air will have a little bit of confirmation with the official on the far side. 2-0 for Minnesota. The serve will go back to Schaffmaster. 20 aces on the year for the senior setter. Put up by her opposite number, Hayward, and down by Avery Tatum.
There's a great job. Don't let Minnesota get on an early run. Now try to get something of your own. I mentioned head coach Keegan Cook from Minnesota, first year here with Minnesota, but he spent 8 years at Washington and took that Washington team to the tournament every single time, including a Final Four appearance in 2021.
After the Indiana serve, chance now for Minnesota. Well kept up by Colheed. It will stay in for Schaffmaster. And now another one. That one's going to go out right to the scorer's table. Point for Minnesota. 3-1. A lot of power behind both of those spikes from Minnesota.
Yeah, that's why you want someone at the net. That kind of power is really hard to control on a dig. So
Landfair to serve. Kept up by Indiana. Hayworth. Knocked over by Tatum. Now kept up by Murr. Henson tried to loop it over, but finds only the net.
Yeah, just an uncommon mistouch here from the Minnesota squad. Really felt like they were trying to get the momentum, but a mistake like that can shift it real quick.
Avery Tatum back on the serve for the Hoosiers in front of the students. Murr puts it back up. Have to just knock it over softly. Hayworth a chance to spike, and it goes down for Ramelsburg. Third kill for Kaylee Ramelsburg. Ohio native Huge impact from her, a chance to knock it over, but it'll be Indiana to get the point in the end, 4-3.
Not what you want to see here from Minnesota. A mistake to give IU another point. Now they have the lead in the set once again, and that momentum they had to start the set is all gone.
Uncharacteristic from the Golden Gophers to start this match. Schaffmaster up, Hansen the spike, that goes down for Minnesota, and they even it back up at 4. Good hit there from the sophomore.
Just full power to get it past those blockers at the net. A fantastic job. Let's get the point, tie it back up at 4.
It'll be Murr to serve. Finds the opposite libero, Gary. Back up for Indiana. Chance for Alonzo Corsellis. Gets it over. Schaffmaster to set. Hansen takes a touch, and they'll get the point. Another hard hit from Hansen, who's found her way into the game.
Back-to-back hard kills there for Hansen. Great job to turn the tides a little bit for Minnesota.
5-4 to Minnesota. Chance for Alonzo Corsellis, and she'll get it to fall. Schaffmaster tried her best, but it finds the Minnesota side.
Yeah, and another fantastic assist there from Cameron Hayward. Just feels like every time she is putting it in a position where an IU attacker can strike.
16th assist for Hayworth. Had a couple 50-assist games earlier in the year, both for triple doubles. Impressive to say the least. Here's her again. This time finds the net.
And another note on that stat, only 12 errors when setting up her teammates. That is an extremely low number for assists. That is an impressive job from Hayworth.
Chance for Minnesota. That one's going to find the crowd in the tunnel off Geddes. Minnesota now extend the lead to 2. The first real chance to get into this match almost in the second set.
Yeah, a lot more back and forth, which is what we kind of expected coming into the first set. And this is, Minnesota's okay with this right now, considering how the first set went.
Off the serve from Grote, knocked in by Ramelsberg, her 4th.
And yet another perfect pass there from Cameron Hayworth. She's all over the court here for IU every single game. And she has been a key to this attack all year, but especially today.
Once again, Indiana's front blockers getting in on the scoring. Hansen, it's blocked, not back over by Hayworth. Chance again for Hansen. That time, she finds it.
Hansen has stepped up big time, a player that doesn't always get a huge amount of opportunities. She has done a fantastic job so far today, stepping in and getting some huge kills for this Minnesota team.
She's like that one corner over there on the left side. Hayworth will set for Geddes. And that's out. And it'll be an Indiana point. It's nearly perfectly dug out, but in the end still only finds the bench.
And Geddes continues her extremely efficient attacking. We've seen it all year, and she continues it today. 4 for 6 today.
This is more of what we expected. Back and forth. Just a 1-point difference. Here's Hayworth with the left. Kept up. Davis off the block and powered through. Davis not the one that scores all too often on the front side for Minnesota. 64 kills coming in, having played 73 sets. And there's an error there, and Indiana will work their way back in to make it 9-8. Pinballing back and forth on the score sheet. Serve will go to Daphne for Indiana. She's got a pair of aces already. And she'll put it too far this time. Minnesota reaches double digits first here in set number 2.
We see Greg Gosnell come in for the first time today, another senior veteran on this squad, getting some more opportunities.
Again, experience seems to be the key word when describing this Indiana side. Schaffmaster. Alonzo Corsellis digs it out. She'll have a chance to hit it through. Kept up by Minnesota. And there's the point. It goes to Grote. Minnesota extend.
One of the 3 big attackers here from Minnesota getting in on the action, just finding the open spots.
Grote, a huge addition to this Minnesota team who look to get back into the tournament for the 9th straight year, and it'll fall. That came off Landfair. Not the most orthodox of ways to get it down, but it does in the end for Minnesota. And that forces the timeout.
Steve Aird does not want this to get out of hand in this set.
After losing Macklin, Amanda Foster down court side. Minnesota come back out of the break having looked a lot better than they did in that first set, where they just couldn't seem to get anything working.
Yeah, some of these attacks that they're going are just finding the open holes, something that, like I mentioned earlier, has eluded them so far this year.
Schaffmaster to start it out. For Indiana, Alonzo Corsellis, that one will go flying off the block, and she's at kill number 10 for the 12th straight time this season.
Just feels like when they need a big point, it goes to Alonzo Corsellis. And now we have IU with a chance to try to crawl back into this set.
Serve just a bit too far there by Colheed.
It's a couple of times now where they got the point.
They're going to say it was in for the ace. Just hit that corner. For a second, it looked like it was out, but Colheed will get back on strike. Hits it over, this time dug out by Minnesota. Landfair pops it over. Set up for Alonzo Corsellis. She pops it this time round. Chance now for Minnesota. Blocked, but out of play. Point goes to the Gophers.
You see Minnesota doing a fantastic job of communicating, making sure that they know who's going for the ball. Doing a great job. It just felt like they were a little bit more sloppy in that first set, which you don't usually see. Great job in the second set, making sure they know what's going on, make sure they're communicated. And it's clearly showing so far in the second set.
And they've seemed to force a few more errors on blocks, just trying to skew it off of Hoosiers. Case in point right there. Another point goes the way of Minnesota. Same deal.
Yeah, fantastic job there. Awalea on that one. She had 5 kills and 11 attempts, including 8 blocks against Purdue in that game. She's been huge for this front for Minnesota.
Chance for Hansen. Dug out by Gosnell. Corsellis smashes. And point for Indiana once again. 11th kill for Alonzo Corsellis. About halfway maybe into this second set.
Just can't say enough about her so far, especially in this one.
Came in with 259 kills. Double digits, all too common for her. Here's Hayworth. Kept up, now knocked over. Chance for Grote. Knocked back over by Tatum. And the point goes for the Hoosiers. What a chance that was right at the net. And it ends up landing on the Minnesota side. (14-12) now. Hoosiers back on serve.
Great job here from IU battling back into this one.
The set for Hansen again as she gets another point for Minnesota. She's been the key for this Minnesota team and was not who you would have expected coming into the game.
Yeah, her season high on kills this year is 6. She's already at 5 in this game. She has been the key point so far in this one for a Minnesota squad that we saw that struggled in the first set. She's been a huge spark plug for this Minnesota squad.
The set from Hayworth, Corsellis slams it home. And Indiana back within one.
Sometimes power beats blockers, and that was another one where it did.
Huge power for Alonzo Corsellis. 12 kills she's gotten in her 12th straight game doing so. Her serve goes to Minnesota, and that will get the point off of Grote again, the Cal transfer. 7th in the Pac-12 in kills last year as a junior. Led the squad in the statistic as well with over 400. Chance now for Geddes, just falls in ahead of Murr. A valiant effort. Can't get it.
Once again, Geddes doing just a great job getting these kills for IU. Very, very efficient this year, and another one where she just finds the open space.
We talked about the velocity Alonzo Corsellis gets. That time just taking just enough off of it to let it fall in. Ramsey Gary off the serve, put back over. And now Geddes again, but it's put back by Minnesota. All the momentum with the Hoosiers, and they get another point off of Coheed.
That's a fantastic job. Whenever Hayworth, she does a great job disguising which way she's going to put it. And you could tell on that one, especially Minnesota, thought it was going near side. That time it went far side. IU gets another point.
Here for Minnesota, it's Hansen again. Can't equal her season high there. Put back and down. Davis, strong hands at the net. And Minnesota restore the 2-point lead at 17-15.
Yeah, it really felt like a turning point in this set, but a great job by Minnesota getting up at the net with a huge block and a huge point.
The strength for Hansen. Chance for Geddes. And too far that time.
Just too far as well. That one is inches, maybe even less away.
Becomes a game of inches at times. No reviews needed yet, though that will give a point back to Indiana off the serve from Hansen. And it'll be Cameron Hayworth who gets the serve for Indiana.
She's a candidate to bring this game right back square even with just her serves.
A hard left-hand serve, dug out by Minnesota. Chance for Landfair, kept up by the Hoosiers. Chance for Geddes, out of play. Minnesota up to 19.
Yeah, just a bit wide there for Geddes. And Minnesota gets away with a Cameron Hayworth save where IU doesn't get any points on it.
Skylar Gray to take for Minnesota. Well dug out by her again, but the block, Coheed and Geddes combine, and Indiana bring it back one. Great block from the Hoosiers.
Yeah, and they're just doing a fantastic job keeping Landfair at bay, making sure there's always people ready for whenever she's going up for an attack.
Daphne to serve for Indiana. Junior outside hitter with the right hand. There's Landfair. Finally really getting into this game. That's kill number 4 for her.
So just as I mentioned how IU's doing a good job keeping her out of the game, she comes up with a big kill just past the arms of Ramsey Gary. Typically if you get it past her, it's going past pretty much anyone in the Big Ten.
Reigning player of the year, former top recruit. She's done just about everything she can at Minnesota over her career, and that's dunked over. She can't keep it in this time, though. Avery Tatum to get the point for Indiana.
Just a huge, fantastic placement on that one. Murr just couldn't get it out, and IU gets the point. We're tight here as we near the end of the second set.
And Murr's about the best you can get when it comes to trying to dig those out. Here's Landfair. That will be put up by Gosnell. And Tatum, well kept in by Schaffmaster. Blocked again, kept up by Minnesota. Chance now for Landfair, and it goes out off the block. The onslaught for Minnesota, rewarded with a point.
You can tell they are getting a lot better opportunities here in the second set. Just feels like they're finding their stride right now. And IU is keeping up, but it is a tight back and forth set.
Landfair to serve, takes a touch off the net. The hit, that goes out. Ramelsburg again.
Straight connection. I mean, we mentioned how this squad has been together the last couple of years, and you can just tell with plays like that, the quick setup to the quick spike, getting the point for IU.
Paul keeps finding Landfair on those. She's just unable to corral a couple of them. There's Hansen, there's the block. And Ramelsburg again, this time on the opposite side of the ball.
Mentioned Hansen, been all over this offense, and we're going to get a timeout from Minnesota.
And for more on Minnesota, we'll send it down since 2015 against the Gophers.
Yeah, we've been talking about these liberos all game. I mean, Kylie Murr left Ohio State as the all-time leader in digs, and as we mentioned, Ramsey Gary currently leading the Big Ten in digs.
Murr was among the active leaders' career in the NCAA. Kept up somehow, and Hayworth puts it back. Chance now for Minnesota, and they'll get the point. It's Grote who slams it home off the block.
This feels like when you allow Minnesota to get back-to-back hard spikes like that, you can only do so much.
This is more of the Minnesota we were expecting to see in the first set, playing with such confidence right now. It'll be Murr, the libero, to serve. And strike home. Ramelsburg again. She's been on fire for the Hoosiers as well.
Yeah, it's been a team effort here for IU. Tight as we get to the end of the second set.
Alonzo Corsellis, 12 kills. She'll take the serve. And she'll get the ace out of it as well. That's her third already on the game.
Yeah, she's not exactly the big service ace as Cameron Hayworth, but 3 in this game. A huge turn of events here for IU as they tie it up in the second.
13 aces coming into today. She did have 3 against Ohio State as a season high. She's now equaled that. Here's Hansen. That's too far, and Indiana have rallied back to take the lead here in set number 2.
And Minnesota, and they're going to call another timeout. And it makes sense because you had such a lead in this set.
Sure. She just had an ace right before the break. She looks to extend this Indiana lead one closer. Kept up. The strike from Grote. Takes a touch, goes over. Minnesota equal here at 23.
Great misdirection there on the assist. Mentioned it from Cameron Hayworth. And now IU's going to take a timeout, trying to make sure that they can set for an exciting finish here to set number 2. Much closer than set number 1.
Grote to serve. And that will go out. Minnesota, they've reached 24. They're just one shy of coming back and leveling it at a set apiece.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many errors from this IU defense. A little bit shocking on that one, but now Minnesota has a chance to take advantage.
Chance to take the set for the Gophers. Grote for Ramelsburg, and that will go out. And Indiana level it at 24 apiece. You couldn't ask for anything more.
That was very close. That was less than inches on that one.
Ramsey Gary will take the serve, the libero. Set by Schaffmaster. Here's Hansen, blocked. Can anybody get there? No. 25-24 Indiana now on the set point.
Huge block. An uncharacteristic mistake there from Murr. Leads to IU with 1 point away.
Back to Gary. Hoosier fans on their feet. Schaffmaster to Hansen. Down. Let's level it up again, shall we?
Fantastic kill there from Hansen. Matching her season high. So it's been up and down for her, but she's still been huge for this offense. So she'll get the serve now.
Serve from Hansen. Here's Hayworth. Geddes blocked. Hayworth down off the block with that strong left hand, and Indiana back on the set point.
Absolute power there from the setter. She's only 7th in kills for IU, but it feels like if she wanted to, she could be first with that kind of power. And just no one there at the net for Minnesota, and she took the free hit.
And here's Hayworth on the strike into the net. Leveled once again. I mean, if you're Indiana, there's nobody else you would have wanted to take a set point serve.
Yeah, she's aggressive on those serves. That'll be her 57th error on the season, but it's worth it when how many aces she gets.
Erica Davis now for Minnesota. Still can't claim a victor in set number 2. Geddes. Wide.
Just wide as well. Strong hit, felt good, but great read there from the Minnesota defense. And now they're 1 point away.
Pinballing, back and forth, back and forth. Davis trying to take set number 2. Hayworth to Geddes again, that's rejected. They'll try it again, this time on the other side. And it's Tatum at the far corner to level things again. Colheed, I should say, given the credit.
Back and forth. And this is only set number 2. Just feels like we just can't. I mean, it's been back and forth the entire set, and now we're getting to near the end of it, and we're really seeing it now.
27 all. Greg Gosnell checks in. She'll take the serve. Schaffmaster looking for Landfair. Kept up by Gary. Now Alonzo Corsellis. The big hitters exchanging. Landfair wide.
Just long, and can't overstate the dig there from Gary in the middle of it. All right, there aren't too many attackers just like Landfair, and Gary not phased to keep IU in that rally. Now the chance again to take set number 2.
Senior Greg Gosnell. Up from Schaffmaster, a chance for Landfair, rejected, back for Minnesota. She'll try it again, blocked again. And it'll level things up from Minnesota. Huge stand there. They had a couple opportunities from Landfair, and they get the point.
Looked like IU was doing a great job at the net. Obviously do get the net violation. But they are finding Landfair late in the second set for good reason as well.
Someone's gonna have to hit 30. Who will it be? Schaffmaster. Alonzo Corsellis dug out, but it lands. And the Hoosiers get the point. They're at 29.
Feels like these mistakes for Minnesota you just can't have right now. Down 1 set. If you lose this set, you go down 2-0. And we'll get a quick timeout for a tying shoe break. As we'll see the replay here. Just a little bit of a strong touch there from Schaffmaster.
The Indiana fans have been on their feet for several minutes now as this game is continued to go on in set number 2. But the Hoosiers now a strike away. Schaffmaster will set it up for Landfair. Kept in by Indiana. Chance for Alonzo Corsellis, little looper. Kept up for Minnesota. Grote hits the corner, pitch perfect.
Just fantastic kill. 29 all once again. Again, Hayworth did a fantastic job keeping that play alive, but a fantastic job there from Minnesota setting up the attacker, evening us up at 29.
Not quite sure she could have walked over and placed it better than that. Indiana, that's blocked well by the front line of Minnesota. And again, Indiana wanted the net violation. They won't get it. Minnesota reached 30. And now it's their turn for a set point. Back and forth.
You can feel the tenseness here in the stadium. Fans back and forth. And we will get a challenge here from IU. And a fair one here, especially considering the implications that it will. So we can see, I mean, the implications are massive here.
Right. Who can get the advantage? As we get another look.
It's a tough angle. Can't really tell one way or the other. We'll see if maybe they have a better angle than we do. And one of the big things with replays you want to remember is that since it was not called a net violation on the court, you need enough to overturn it. And if there's not enough information, like if that's the only angle they have, then it probably won't get an overturn. And again, that one's just tough to see.
You can see a little bit of that movement on the net afterwards, but the question is whether it's the ball, which it is the ball that hits it. So the question then is
clearly not enough information. So I didn't see enough either.
So the call will stand, and it will go to Minnesota, who now have a chance with last year's Player of the Year, Landfair.
Also works out like just a short time out there for IU as well, so still works out in their favor.
Landfair into the net. Back even at 30 apiece.
Well, guess they didn't need the timeout, and they'll tie it back up.
What a set this has been. 30-30. Into the net that time from Avery Tatum. Back-to-back service errors, one for either side. It's been a long set to have to go through.
Yeah, I mean, this is extensive on how much it will take out of you.
Be Murr to take the serve. Poked over for Indiana. Now a chance for the Gophers. Hanson, and there is set number 2. It took a combined 62 points to get it, but Minnesota get it in the end.
A huge set for Minnesota, tying it back throughout the rest of this game.
Daphne will open the serve for Indiana to start set number 3. Set up and knocked down well for Minnesota. Awalea, first time really calling her name today.
So she had a block earlier, now he gets her first kill of the game.
Senior in her first year in Minnesota. First at Georgia, then Loyola Marymount before coming over north to Minnesota. Set up by Landfair. She'll spike it that time. And point will go to Minnesota. They get the first 2 of the new set.
Looks like they went ahead and called that a net violation. Either way, it gets a point. And Minnesota gets a quick start here in the second.
Hayworth will set for Alonzo Corsellis. Precision.
They've been calling her name all day. That one wasn't with the power, it was with the precision. She has been at the forefront of this IU attack. The 14th kill. Career high for her is 18.
Dug out well twice by Minnesota. They'll give the strike to the Hoosiers. Alonzo Corsellis blocked but out. And Indiana gets the point. And who else but Alonzo Corsellis?
Well, in big games, you go to your big-time players, and they have so far today. It'll be her almost 30 attacks so far in the day already here in the third set.
Up from Schaffmaster, put back by Landfair. Here's Alonzo Corsellis again. She's at 16.
That is, just keeps finding her direction.
We're going to have the I Want Candy song rolling around in our heads for the next week and a half at this rate.
It's not like Minnesota's not trying to block them. She is just putting it through right now.
Schaffmaster hit well, but dug out by Hayworth. Here's Alonzo Corsellis. That one easy for Minnesota. Grote's attempts kept up as well. Long rally we've seen here. Well saved by Murr. Grote again. Tatum. Dug out by Murr. Who wants it? Minnesota, get it.
Get a long rally like that, you tend to get out of position just a little bit, and you saw a big wide open space there for IU, and Grote is going to find it all day.
Serve will come from Landfair. Chance for Alonzo Corsellis, and she'll get it. Just skewed off the hand of Landfair. Serve will come from Tatum. Set for Hansen. She's had a busy day, not this time though. Awalea just can't get it to fall. Alonzo Corsellis tries. What a dig that was by Hansen. And Hayworth is the one who puts it down. Two hands, just a little press on it. Finds the empty space.
We've seen Schaffmaster do that a couple of times, and now the Indiana setter Hayworth getting involved in that as well. She is elite anywhere you put her.
Chance now for Minnesota. Hayworth this time. Too much air under that one.
I believe in the business we call that a heat check. That was a tough position for her. She went up for it. She has the talent easily, but just a little bit too high there, and Minnesota gets the point and the serve.
Kylie Murr, Indiana native. One of two Indiana natives on the Minnesota team. That's gonna land for Indiana. It'll be Ramelsberg who's credited with it. Serve will come from Alonzo Corsellis, sitting on 17 kills, one shy of her season high and career high. Had earlier in that run of double-digit kills. That one's blocked, knocked back over though by Hansen. Geddes dug out off the net and it'll fall. Indiana, momentum on their side.
Murr had a good dig there off the strong spike from Geddes, but just no one there to get the ball, and it goes off the net. Tough read. Now IU gets the point.
Alonzo Corsellis. Murr puts it up. Hansen. Gary able to knock it up. Alonzo Corsellis, and it's gonna fall there. It is for Alonzo Corsellis. Minnesota will take a timeout. What a run for Indiana here in set number 3.
This feels a lot more like the first set so far. IU really getting a great run. Spearheaded by, of course, Alonzo Corsellis. She has been elite so far today.
There are not too many easy chances that you're going to get in this conference to try and increase that win tally.
Yeah, as you can see the upcoming schedule here for Minnesota, both these teams are playing against teams. They have one match where they lost to the team. They have 2 matches where they beat the team, and then they have a 4th match where they haven't played the opponent yet. So kind of similar matchups with the rest of the season if you look at it that way. Both these teams have chances to win, also have chances to fall a little bit.
Alonzo Corsellis the serve. Grote well dug out for Indiana. Block, that one will fall. Huge block by Minnesota. Chance to break up the Indiana 3-0 run.
That was a huge point there for Minnesota, as we were mentioning IU on the run.
Grote serve, long. And Indiana will extend the lead once again. As I was saying before we took a look at the standings, Lucas, it feels very much like for Minnesota, it's not necessarily that they're unable to get the strike from the Hoosiers. It's that second chance that they get. They're just unable to set it up for a teammate well, as that one falls for the Golden Gophers.
Minnesota doing a great job not letting IU go on a run. Let's see if Minnesota can try to claw their way back in here into the 3rd set.
Here's Geddes into the net and down, back for Minnesota. Serve coming for the Gophers. Here's Geddes, kept up well by Murr. Landfair, that's more what you expect to see from her.
We've been mentioning it, the reigning Big Ten Player of the Year for a reason. Fantastic kill there. Will be her 7th on the day. So coming into this one, she had 6 straight double-digit kill games. Unfortunate error there from Hansen.
Right off it goes back. Landfair celebrating her birthday today, trying to have a good birthday performance. Those always are fun to have. Give yourself a present. Serve from Hayworth, well kept up. And here is Landfair, and she'll get the point again.
It just feels like whenever she's up in the air, she is putting it down. Her 8th kill of the game. Her and Hansen both at 8, Lydia Grote at 10. Those have been the 3 big players so far for this Minnesota offense.
Landfair stands 6'5" up by that net in the front side. You can see over 1,000 career kills. She got that earlier this year against Ohio State. Point for Colhead and Indiana. But what a career, young career that Landfair has had as a redshirt junior.
Yeah, she still has obviously the rest of this year, and she's got next year too to build on that historic career she's had so far.
One of those that can just get so much power behind a ball. Serve from Daphne, out of play, just wide. Landfair nearly got her hand to it, and in the end, a little bit fortunate that she didn't.
That was a great read at the end of there. Those are sometimes tough to see. She did a great job reading it, allowing it to go out, getting Minnesota the serve back.
1-point matchup. Back for Minnesota after their own serve. Spiked down, kept up twice by the Hoosiers. Chance for a big hit here. And Alonzo Corsellis. There's Landfair, kept up by Hayworth. Alonzo Corsellis, and they'll get the point. Violation for Minnesota. #19th kill on the day for Alonzo Corsellis, a new career high. just here in set number 3. There's Grote, and there's the answer.
Another huge answer from Minnesota. We're going back and forth really quick here. Very similar to the second set. What you'd kind of expect between these two teams.
Landfair serve. Knocked over from Tatum. And now Hansen, and that one goes flying out from off the hand of Gosnell and equalizes this game.
That is a tough one. That kind of power. Another great kill there from Hansen.
You mentioned Hansen, not the person you'd expect to be the big scorer today for Minnesota, but she has done phenomenally. That one somehow finds its way over. Blocked again, but it goes out on what was nearly the perfect unintentional way of getting it over the net. Unable to get the block to complete the play.
It went off the head of Schaffmaster and then over the net. And Minnesota did a great job trying to get back and had an opportunity for the block, but just went out there. IU takes the lead right back.
Textbook header for 500 yards that way to our right over at the soccer field. Avery Tatum serves. Chance now blocked off the hand of Grote. She'll try it again. What a dig that was by Gary, falling back. On the other side, but too strong, and the Hoosiers extend to a 2-point advantage.
Hansen has stepped up big time. We haven't seen McKenna Wooker in a while. I think that's why she's been so big on this offensive side.
And that will go out of play. A few miscued hits, and it'll be a Hoosier ace.
Sometimes it's all it takes. Take advantage of some mistakes. IU up 3 here.
Tatum kept in by Landfair, and that's in from Hansen. Huge hit from her. That's double digits now in the kills. First time she's done so this season. Had a 14 kill game last year. Just the second time she's reached double digits. The set from Hayworth, the finish from Ramosburg.
Just a quick setup and a quick spike. And Minnesota had no chance of stopping that one. You see this right here, quick little, not allowing those blockers to get set up at the net.
Blink and you'll miss it. Alonzo Corsellis. Set for Hansen. Gets it again. What a game she's having.
She's stepping up big time. Like I said, been called to action so far today, and they have needed it in this matchup that has been extremely tight so far.
In a huge set, one apiece here in the third. That one's overcooked. And Indiana take a 3-point advantage here in set 3.
You see the student section starting to fill up just a little bit more. As I mentioned, the soccer game ending. Getting some more fans here. What will almost certainly be a very exciting finish.
Here's Hansen again, blocked. Pushed back up for Geddes, well blocked. Set up from Alonzo Corsellis, who gets it back off the block. Now Geddes does it again. What a dig that was by Murr. And now Indiana will have the chance again. There it is, and there's the point from Colheed.
We mentioned it with Minnesota getting so many attacks. It's only a matter of when, not if. That's exactly what IU was doing there. Back to back to back, hard spikes. You just have to imagine eventually they're going to put it through, and we saw it there as they did.
That's the thing, when you play great defense on a set like, or on play like that for Minnesota, sometimes you're just gonna have to force to push it back to the other side. Gives some huge hits. A chance now for the Golden Gophers. The setup again for Hansen, and she has another.
Schaffmaster once again at the net, forcing that IU defense to come up to the net for her, allowing her attacker to get an easy spike with only one defender at the net. So Julia Hansen again.
So good at getting over the top of that ball. Here's Geddes. Pinballs around into the crowd and knocked back onto the scorer's table. Timeout will be taken at 18-16. We'll send it down to Amanda Foster.
Well, thanks, Alex. You mentioned earlier how today is Taylor Landfair's birthday. The fact that she was born on the 12th is part of the reason that she chose to wear number 12 here at Minnesota. Her dad also wore number 12 when he played basketball, and her dad was also born on the 12th in March. There's even more reason behind her wearing that number, though. It goes more into birthdays. Her sister was born on the 4th, one of her brothers was born on the 3rd, and the other one was born on the 5th. And when you add all of those three up together, they also equal 12. So for whatever reason, the number 12 is very prevalent in Taylor Landfair's life, and it's probably, I would think, her favorite number, given all of the connections that she has to it, guys.
Thanks, Amanda. A lot can be behind one singular number.
Yeah, speaking of numbers, it has just been that three-headed attack we've seen so much from Minnesota this year. As I mentioned, Julia Hansen, 29 attacks. Lydia Grote has 24. Landfair has 23, doing a great job mixing it up between those three. IU a little bit more intermingled between players. Alonzo Corsellis has 38, but then Ramelsberg has 15. Morgan Geddes has 20. Avery Tatum with 13. Cole Heed with 8. Cameron Hayworth with 7.
And as you mentioned, Hansen really having to pick up a lot of slack this game, and she's done wonderfully so in the place of McKenna Wooker. And she'll have the serve. Leads the Gophers in points, or in kills, at 12. Behind only Alonzo Corsellis in the game. That's into the net. That'll be a Hoosier point. 19 for them now.
That's 7 service errors on both sides now. Just some mistakes from both teams. I feel like fatigue might be setting in just a little bit as we get late here in the third set after that long second set.
And more to your point, as Hayworth will take the strike. Dug out. And the Hoosiers will get the point off violation.
It's like a double hit there from Minnesota. I wasn't exactly sure who, but it will give IU another point and force another timeout from Minnesota. So I couldn't tell on that replay.
We'll take a quick break, 20 after an electric second set and a dominant Hoosier first set.
And IU up 4 here in the third set. This is where you need to really close out. So we get a great serve from Hayworth.
Kept up, pushed over. Chance for Indiana. The spike from Geddes goes out off a Gopher. Just too much power behind the strike.
Yeah, and Hayworth with a double-double in this game, 11 digs. That'll be her 40th assist, I believe. She has been, I mean, just like every game, she's been the key to this IU offense, and today, as well as playing a big part on defense.
Chance here, and the point goes for Minnesota off another good strike there from Landfair. Gophers trying to work their way back here in set number 3. Into the net it goes, and unforced error gives the Hoosiers another point.
Back-to-back service errors from Minnesota. In a game like this, you just can't have that. That is, I mean, that's really just unacceptable at this point in the game.
This was where, for Minnesota, the wheels came off a little bit against Purdue after 2 good sets. The final 2, they were outplayed in the final 10 or so point stretches in both third and fourth set. Looking to sing a different song here in Bloomington. Set from Hayworth, the strike from Tatum.
Once again, you see the misdirection there from Hayworth. Looked like she was going far side. Threw it backwards near side, keeping those Minnesota blockers on their toes.
A lot of misdirection on her sets. That one's going to go into the net from Daphne. 5 points the difference in set 2. Be Schaffmaster to take the serve. It's one of 4 Minnesota players in program history to have amassed 3,000 assists and 1,000 digs. And there's several star players for Minnesota as that's kept up well by Murr. The save, the chance now for Grote, but rejected by the Hoosiers.
They are playing big at the net. That hit from Corsellis forced Minnesota into a clear attack, which allowed IU to set up their defense.
The Hoosiers had not won a set against Minnesota since 2015. They're looking to get their second today. The spike from Grote. That will land. That'll be a Minnesota point. They're at 19. Indiana just one shy. Minnesota needs to be perfect here in set 3. Landfair to serve. Hayworth sets it. Tatum, well kept up by Murr. Be given back to Indiana. And a chance now, well saved again. Hansen. Gary saves it. Set back up for Gosnell. Tumbling down, and there is set number 3, and it goes to the Hoosiers. What a performance this has been for Steve Aird's side.
Yeah, and you saw right there, program around, and they have been elite this year, and they have potential to have a huge upset win against this Minnesota team.
As Amanda mentioned in the open, looking to get the 19th win for him would be the most. The most for Indiana in a while. Here's Alonzo Corsellis into the net, and Minnesota open out with the point, as they did in set 3, looking for a different result to try and send it to 5.
Also looking at records, saw that the last time IU went 500 in conference play was 2002. Last time they had a winning record was 1999. They have a chance to do that this year, and then some.
Chance now for Grote, rejected but out of play, and it'll be point number 2 for Minnesota. And to your point, Indiana really in the resurgence for this program and looking for home win number 10 this year. They've played 10 into today. What a dig that was by Gary. Chance for Alonzo Corsellis, but finds it too far outside. 3 points in a row for Minnesota to start off the set.
To your point, they're playing Wilkinson Hall this year has been fantastic, and it's no short testament to the fans. They have really shown up this year. We see them again today in full force in that student section. This place is packed, and they are rocking today.
Schaffmaster to serve. Hit well by Colheed, but well kept in for Minnesota. Gosnell to Hayworth, and out of play again. That one was Colheed.
Couple of mistakes here to start the 4th set, and another quick start from Minnesota. They just want to keep their foot on the gas pedal, trying to quickly get into the 5th set.
With their backs against the wall, a huge jump out of the gates for Minnesota. That'll be blocked, and that will go the way of the Hoosiers. They're underway here in set 4.
They were really suffocating IU at the net there, but that one goes out and allows IU a chance to try to break out in this one.
Colheed to serve. The set will go for Landfair, a little bit behind her. Taken by Indiana. Set up will just have to return it. Hit by Ramelsburg.
She has been huge for this IU team, and yet another fantastic, just quick pass from Hayworth. Not even giving the blockers a chance to get set up, allowing a clean shot for Ramelsburg there.
Set up for Grote, who hits it too hard for Coley.
And just like that, we see Gary come right back in.
Mentioned Ramelsburg now at 10 kills for the Hoosiers. The third player to reach that in the game. Alonzo Corsellis, another one of them. Can't get that one to go. Hit by Ramelsburg and flung home by Grote in the end. Indiana frantic right in front of the net, and in the end, didn't take all too much for Minnesota to find the space.
Yeah, once again, they were just up on the net, not allowing anything out. Minnesota's looked a lot stronger here in the fourth set, I should mention, than we have seen them all game. We'll see if they can keep it up.
Landfair into the net, returns the point to the Hoosiers.
And she struggled with serves a little bit, more than we usually used to seeing her.
Up, well knocked by Awalea, but stays on the other side. Chance to put it back. Landfair calls off her teammates and knocks it back. Chance for Ramelsburg, kept up by Murr. Indiana the pressure, blocked and out at Ramelsburg again.
So that connection has been elite so far today. That will give Hayworth her 45th assist on the game.
Set for Hansen, and she finds it past Gary.
Another huge kill for Hansen.
She has 13. Gophers looking to try and force a fifth set. That goes into the net. That brings Indiana one closer. They trail by 2 here in set number 3. Alonzo Corsellis, the serve. Here's Hansen, well kept up for Indiana. Geddes blocked, and the point to Minnesota.
So just missed getting it past those blockers. Another fantastic job at the net from Minnesota. We've seen them up at that net, like I said, almost suffocating that IU offense. That block there by Erica Davis.
Set for Indiana, Ramelsburg that time. Can't get it to go too far. Minnesota pulling away a little bit, 4 points. They hold the advantage.
I mentioned those blocks in the set, and even though they didn't have an arm up on that one, just the knowing that they can get up there at the net will affect how someone goes for the kill.
Ramelsburg, that time she will find real estate. That's a bit of an adjustment for Ramelsburg as well. You mentioned jumping up to block for Minnesota. That time, instead of going far, went a little bit wider and shorter. Set on the far side for Hansen, just out. Indiana get the point.
That's a huge one right there. IU just sticking in this one, couple of points here and there, giving themselves an opportunity to try to go on a run to take it.
We set up again for Hansen. Tried the looping finish. Quickly over by Schaffmaster. Indiana up to the attach. That one just falls in front of a diving Landfair.
Fantastic job there by Morgan Geddes, just finding the open area right over the blockers. IU with another point, 3 straight now.
And that's brought them within 1. Ramsey Gary the serve. One libero to the other. And Hansen, strong finish there. Had one mistake and right back to the way she's played all game long. Almost a miscue from Alonzo Corsellis. In the end, it might go for Indiana, and it will. Just mishit in the back row by Minnesota. I think that was Hansen who just could not keep it up.
Yeah. And you see Hansen going right there. Geddes puts it to her left. She had to try to adjust, but she couldn't do it in time. Geddes yet another kill in this one, giving her 9th on the game.
Hayworth's serve return, stays on the Indiana side. Chance now for Geddes. Second chance for Indiana. Kept by the Gophers. Now for Landfair. There she goes.
Just over the fingertips of the defense. And once again in open space. Landfair will now be in double digits for the 7th straight game. She's finding her pace right now.
That time will go just a little too far on the serve. More on Landfair there. She last year was just dominant. Had 23 straight games in which she had 10 or more kills. It ended actually in a game against Indiana. It was the first game that she did not have 10. She had just 8 in the straight set victory for the Golden Gophers last year.
That was a game where they didn't really need her as much. And so more felt like a usage area more than a need area.
Serve error hands it back to Minnesota. And to your point, straight sets as well. Less opportunities certainly can make the case. Only got 10 here in set number 4. Gosnell the dig. Alonzo Corsellis will knock it over, and now chance to set things up for the Golden Gophers. Takes a touch wide. Point number 13 for Minnesota. They'll take a timeout with Indiana leading by 3. We'll take a quick break here. You're watching volleyball.
Against Maryland, they took that 3-0 earlier in the year. Then number 2 team in the nation against Wisconsin, where they were swept in straight sets. Michigan State, they haven't played yet this year, but obviously they're tied with them in the standings. Finally, against Michigan, they also went 3-0 to take that one. So a real chance to come up with some big wins late in the season.
Chance for a huge season for Steve Aird and Indiana volleyball as the point goes for Minnesota. For Minnesota, on the other hand, for Indiana, they're looking for a historic season. For Minnesota, they're looking just to try and get back to where they have been for 8 years. They've been in the NCAA tournament 8 times. They've reached the Sweet 16 or further, including last year. Pushed up, hit down, Colheed gets the point.
Yeah, and this is why it's such a big game for both teams. I mean, at this point in the Big Ten year, these are both really good teams. And it's a statement win for either team, especially the way Minnesota's played, how they came out in that first set. They have a chance to, if they do end up coming back winning these next 2 sets, that is a statement win for sure.
Hit by Grote, that's too far. That'll go to Indiana. And to your point, the one set that Minnesota did win was a roller coaster. Shows some the endurance that this team has. And even the last set, a little bit different than that first one. Here's Grote. Well dug out by Gosnell. Chance now for Minnesota with Grote again. Blocked down. The combination of Tatum and Ramelsburg.
And Aird is fired up.
For more on Steve Aird, we'll send it down to Amanda Foster.
Well, Alex, I've seen a lot of Indiana volleyball in my time, and this is the first time I've ever seen Steve Aird out of his coach standing on the sideline yelling at his team the way he is now. He's encouraging them at every single point, and I've never seen him with this much emotion, guys.
Thanks, Amanda, and that point will go to Minnesota. Steve Aird has really slowly but surely tried to turn this program around, and we talk about the players a lot, how they get their emotions up and how they can probably feel what this season means, but Steve Aird as well, similar deal, understands the importance of what his team has done today and in this season. Set Grote gets another.
And you mentioned that. When you haven't beaten a team since 2014, this matchup is always going to be huge. And he's feeling it right now. This team has a real chance to take Minnesota down. Just need to keep going in this one.
Tipped over the net well by Awalea. Quick reactions and awareness to tip it home. 4 points, the advantage to the Golden Gophers.
Yeah, he was a part of that Penn State staff that won 2 NCAA championships, so he knows what it takes. It's about getting his team there.
Hayworth will set. That one falls for Avery Tatum. Back and forth here in set number 4. To your point, Steve Aird, given the first 9-win conference season since 2010 for this Hoosiers team. In his 6th year, and that will fall for Indiana. They get another point. The ace.
Yeah, that's just another ace on a mistake from Minnesota, one that you don't really expect. And now Minnesota's going to take a timeout after a couple of quick points for IU.
9 aces for the Hoosiers here. Welcome back to Wilkinson Hall. 17-15 Minnesota lead in set number 4. The Hoosiers 2-1 the advantage. Minnesota looking to force set number 5. They have 5 previous times reached the final set. Gosnell to keep it up for Hayworth, and that will fall. Hayworth will get it, and Indiana back within 1.
Yeah, and that powerful stroke that we see on her ace, we see with that kind of kill. It's the 2nd time she's done that today, her 3rd kill of the game. Just a quick attack there whenever there's no one at the net, and all of a sudden IU only down 1 point in this set.
It's been proven to be hard enough when it's coming from the far side. It's even more difficult when it's right in front of you, and there's another point for Indiana, who's leveled it up. Big run for the Hoosiers here, 4 in a row.
Just really felt like Minnesota was slowly but surely taking the set, but 4 quick points from IU ties it up. Volleyball game of runs, and another point for IU.
Takes a touch. And with each point given, Wilkinson Hall gets a little bit louder.
5 straight points, they take the lead off 2 aces from Avery Tatum.
And this was the problem we saw for Minnesota against Purdue as well. They were really struggling to close out sets from being close. Murr. And now for Hansen, and she'll respond and break this Indiana run up.
So that's the big difference right now. IU, 10 service aces to Minnesota's 3. Well, Minnesota has 11 service errors. IU has 9. They're up there, but they're getting the aces to go along with it.
Yeah, and looking back at that Purdue game for the Golden Gophers, the final 2 sets that they played, they were twice really close. Alonzo Corsellis well dug out, pushed down, saved. Now for Hansen. Blocked, but she'll get a second crack at it. Blocked again, and it'll fall. Indiana's front line strong.
And the crowd is loud once again. Fantastic defensive plays there from IU. They are standing up to this Minnesota pressure.
And in that Purdue series, 2 close sets, finished giving up 8 of the final 10 points in one set, 6 of the final 7 in the next. They'll get a point here off the serve from Alonzo Corsellis. Honors even at 19 here in set number 4. Serve will come from Elise McGee for Minnesota. Alonzo Corsellis. Dug out now for Landfair. The Hoosiers the chance. Takes a touch off the net. And it'll just be returned to the Hoosiers. Hayworth the set. Now Hansen again takes the block out. Another point for Hansen.
Just been calling her name all day long. A name that you don't expect coming in, but she has stepped up big time whenever she's been needed. A situation like this where you don't expect to be playing this much, it's not easy to do, but she's made it look fairly easy.
Block at the net. Chance to set. Hansen again takes the touch, lands in bounds. And a 2-point lead for Minnesota.
And they have turned this set around. Wilkinson Hall was getting loud. IU was on a 6-1 run. Minnesota, 3 big points to give them a 2-point lead and quiet this stadium down.
Talk about how important those runs are. Minnesota right back in it. Geddes. Now a little dink over, and it'll fall. A little miscommunication for Minnesota.
Looks like Minnesota was trying to catch those blockers off guard with an Erica Davis quick tap down. But IU's defense that has been so good this year that has led them to 4th place in blocks per set in the Big Ten comes up big, and they've been huge so far in this 4th set.
Up from McGee. Just pushed back from Hansen. Chance for Hayworth, and there's the powerful left hand again.
I mean, I've mentioned it. She can play anywhere on this court and be an elite player. We've seen her with hard kills. We've seen her now with 49 assists. Not to mention she has 11 digs and 2 blocks on the game.
Chance for Hansen. There she goes. Finds the open space.
Just at the apex of her jump, straight down, right over the defense. Almost no chance for IU on that one.
She is in form, to say the least. And once again, we're seeing a very close set. Steve Aird talking with the official on the far side. We'll get back underway. It'll be Hansen to serve. Into the net, and a point gifted back the other way.
Just a huge error. We're tied at 22. IU knows they can do it, and now they have their best server coming up.
It'll be from Hayworth. Minnesota up to the task. Landfair finds ground.
Gary almost got to that one, but a great job by Landfair and a great dig by Murr on that hard serve from Hayworth. Minnesota just a couple of points away. Now Steve Aird's going to take a timeout, trying to.
Hayworth to Colheed, takes a touch. What a save that was for Minnesota. Kept it in. Chance for Tatum. It falls, and the Hoosiers level it back at 23.
Yeah, Zeynep Polibiak. Haven't really called her name much, but she did an amazing job keeping that one alive. But IU did a great job not allowing that to affect them, getting the point. And now we are tied at 23. Now Minnesota wants to take a timeout. Obviously, huge step for them. They need to take it.
We'll take another quick break. Don't go anywhere here on Big Ten Plus. 23-23 here in set 4. After a pair of quick timeouts. Finally see who will take the set and whether there will be a 5th one coming or whether Indiana will pull. Shock upset given their recent history against the opposition. The strike from Landfair, strong, and sets up a set point.
That'll be Landfair's 14th kill in the game. Get her an opportunity. She's doing a great job putting it down. A .344 hitting percentage so far today.
Minnesota looking to force a 5th set. Schaffmaster in.
Looks like Steve Ayer's gonna call for a challenge, and he will end up calling for a challenge. It was very close.
Indiana let it go.
Well, can't see on that angle. Indiana definitely thought it was out. You can tell by the players' reactions.
Looked in the moment like it may have just clipped enough to get it.
And that was a quick replay. They'll give the point to Minnesota, which will give the set.
The senior setter wears number 5 and gets set 5 underway. Alonzo Corsellis, haven't said her name in a while. There it is from Landfair. Back and forth, the big arms of these two teams, and it's just out of play. Colheed tried to tap it. Minnesota, for the 3rd straight set, on the board first. Back to serve for Schaffmaster. Little dink over the top. Minnesota aware to it. Blocked into the net, down, and the Hoosiers get a point back.
It's been a back and forth early set, a couple of longer rallies. Now IU with a chance to serve for the first time here in the 5th set.
There's no surprise who these teams are going to when they're setting it up. Landfair, Alonzo Corsellis, the two to get the early strikes. Put down by Landfair. Strike block by Minnesota. Landfair involved.
Her and Leia doing a great job setting that left side.
Haven't really had to say much about the strong blocking of Minnesota, but it's grown better and better as this match has gone on. The set pushed back off the net. Alonzo Corsellis, lop shot back the other way for Grote. Alonzo Corsellis blocked, kept up by Indiana. Chance now, falls, finds the line, and Minnesota take it.
Minnesota up 3-1 now. They're doing a great job making sure there are people up at the net when Corsellis goes up. That were back-to-back attempts where Corsellis just blocked the net. Landfair
serves. Set for Alonzo Corsellis. That time she'll find the ground, and Indiana within 1 again.
That's a huge point. I mentioned it in the first couple of sets when they needed a huge point, she was the one to go to. Especially in the 4th set, she was a lot more silent, but this one, she is coming up big right now. And IU within 1 here.
21 kills for Alonzo Corsellis, leads everybody. Set up far side for Grote, takes a touch. Alonzo Corsellis blocked and pushed just about over, but out of play. And Minnesota will get the point. Nearly a stroke of luck for Indiana.
Yeah, a couple of fantastic digs here from Gary, but that one just hit a little bit too far out left. Great read by Minnesota as they take a 4-2 lead now.
2-4, Minnesota lead here in set number 5. All square in sets, and that will be a Hoosier point. Makes it 4-3 Minnesota.
Yeah, another kill for Corsellis. 22nd of the game. Coming up huge here in this 5th set. She already has 3 service aces on the game as well. She gets another chance to serve.
She goes into the net there that time with her right.
Makes it 5-3 now for Minnesota. Let's see if a team can kind of take control here in the 5th set, try to go on a big run, or if we have more back and forth gameplay.
The set from Hayworth. Geddes blocked and down. Minnesota 6-3.
I believe it was Erica Davis on that one. That'll be her 6th block on the game. They are playing big right now.
This time it's the defense for Minnesota doing the job. Another block. That time will go out of play, making it 6-4. But you see it again, just the height, the strength from that front row of Minnesota.
We're not seeing any free shots here for IU. Everything is being contested. It is making it extremely difficult here for IU. Something that Minnesota hasn't been as good at this year in year past, but
Hanson blocked out of play.
It's been huge here in the 5th set.
3-point lead for Minnesota. Again, going to 15 in set 5. Just about halfway for the Golden Gophers. Just takes a touch off the net and down. Takes the heat off of it. Minnesota doubling up the Hoosiers here in set 5.
We flip sides. I mean, you can't ask for a better serve on that one. Just throwing the IU defense out of whack. Right now, IU just needs to reset. They've been down like this before, and they've come back. So they know what they can do. They know what they need to do. But Steve Aird will call a quick timeout here and get his team set up. But it will end up with IU's point. Chance on the serve here for Hayworth.
Set for Landfair, rejected, and the Hoosiers get the point.
Massive block there by Colheed. IU battling back. Like I said, they've been down before in this game and battled back. They're doing it again here in the biggest moment.
Set for Landfair again. That one takes a touch. Kept up for the Hoosiers through Geddes, who finds space and brings the Hoosiers back within 1. It's been a back and forth game throughout here today. There will be another timeout. You get another look.
It's an absolute beauty there from Geddes. Hayworth has had back-to-back beautiful saves. It makes it difficult. And we're tight here.
1 point difference. We'll take a quick break once again. Cameron Hayworth on the serve for Indiana. Back and forth all afternoon long. Hayworth just a bit too far. It goes to Minnesota.
Yeah, that was very close.
Everybody knows what Hayworth is capable of. The moment you see it hit the ground anywhere near you, start to wonder. That time around doesn't go. Chance now for Indiana, and they'll get the point back from Colheed.
A quick pass there from Cameron Hayworth. 56 assists on the game, her 4th 50-plus assist game of the year.
Another milestone.
This IU team just continues to battle. They're right here in the 5th set.
Geddes out, Gosnell in and will serve. Set, block, down. Indiana level it up at 9 apiece.
We mentioned the defense from Minnesota at the beginning of this set, but IU's defense stepping up. Another block. That's 13 on the game. Absolutely perfect defense. Avery Tatum and Savannah Colheed on that one.
Indiana's front line huge here today. Another chance for Landfair. That one gets through the block. And Minnesota get into the double digits here in set 5. Landfair once again showing why she was the player of the year in the conference last year. 15 kills to go with 10 digs today. Tatum, well kept out. Landfair will push it over. Set up here for Alonzo Corsellis. Dug out by Murr. He knocks back to the Hoosiers. Chance to attack again, Alonzo Corsellis. And it took a touch, and Indiana level it up at 10 apiece.
Yeah, Murr tried to get a touch on that, but ended up sending it just a little bit over. We saw on that one, IU was the only one on attack. I don't know if Minnesota even had a spike attempt on that one. And Corsellis finishes it off.
23 kills for her. First Hoosier to reach 20 this season. Hayworth up, little touch from Tatum. Will go over the net, tipped into the net, and the Hoosiers take the lead here in set 5, 11-10.
That one found itself in no man's zone, and it was just a tough play there for Minnesota. They tried to make something happen, but nothing did. Mistake there. IU up 11-10 here in the 5th set. Almost looked like it was over on IU's side, tipped back. But either way, IU gets the point.
Taken by Colheed into the net, evens it up at 11.
And these big moments, you do not want to give away free points. Just gives Minnesota the momentum right back.
It's been back and forth for most of these sets so far, especially 2 and 4, which were won by Minnesota. Another close one here. Hayworth to set it up for Tatum, blocked. Hoosiers another chance through Alonzo Corsellis, blocked again by Grote. And Minnesota take the advantage.
It's really just been defensive blocks here that are setting up these points here in the 5th set.
Endurance has been key for both these teams, and both still strong at the net. Alonzo Corsellis, a little lop shot, and it falls.
That is absolutely magnificent. At the top, a chance to go hard, instead just softly puts it down. The blockers by that point are coming on their way down, forces Minnesota to take another timeout here.
What more could you notice? Since 2014 for Minnesota, they're looking to get another statement win on their resume as the season winds to a close. Serve from Avery Tatum. Set for Henson, kept up by Gary. Hayworth will knock it over. The spike falls from Grote. Another kill for her. 19 she's got, leads the Gophers.
See here, Minnesota just does a fantastic job. Grote, that is, putting it past the defense. 2 points away from taking this one.
The serve will come from Murr. The 1 point lead for the Gophers. Alonzo Corsellis too far. Minnesota within 1 of outlasting Indiana, and it'll be a quick timeout. We'll take a quick break here on Big Ten Plus.
Just need a couple of points to bring us here to a tie.
Murr back on serve for Minnesota, tips off the net. Kept up, chance blocked by Minnesota. Here's Alonzo Corsellis, it's blocked, and that will win it for the Gophers.
And just like that, we have another mark in the loss column for this matchup for IU, but this one feels a lot different than the others.
Absolutely. What a match we were treated to today. You get a look at the final play.
Fantastic at the net. We said it a lot in this 5th set. They really stepped up at the net. And now IU is going to have to start searching for a couple of big wins if they want to be in the NCAA tournament talk.
Both these teams still trying to vie for that tournament spot. The win will move Minnesota up to 9-7 in conference. Indiana will move to 500 at 8-8. Both teams still with 4 games to play. Huge for them. You look to Indiana on the losing side today. What did you see from them that changed the tone from previous games, previous years?
I think it just shows the growth of the program, honestly. You look at how this team had played against Minnesota for so long, just coming up short and not even taking a set since 2015. Here, they're up 2-1. They push it to the 5th set, and they're so close. Just come up just short, though.
Minnesota get the win. We'll send it down to Amanda Foster.
Oh, thanks, Alex. Julia, you had a career-high 19 kills coming off the bench today. What was working for you today?
Every day in practice, I'm with my team and I'm hitting high hands. I'm going down the line, challenging my teammates and making them better blockers. So I just went out there tonight, trusted the coverage behind me, trusted everyone, and I swung high and I went for it.
What's it say about this team that you're able to come back in 5 sets and play as competitively as you did?
Yeah, this team's amazing. I have nothing but great words for this team. We've came through and had a hard season, and we came out here with no fear, and we just did what we had to do to get this done.
And at this point in the season, how big of a win is this for you guys?
This is the biggest win that we could have had all season, probably, until December.
Appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Guys, back up to you.